Every once in a while, I come across a product that's truly awesome. Let me show you guys ViewSonic's newest smart projector, their X10-4K model, coming up. Now before we go ahead and get started, I want to give a huge shout out to ViewSonic for going ahead and sponsoring this video and setting in this unit for review. ViewSonic makes a number of different display devices from projectors to monitors, so if you guys are looking to get something like that for yourself or planning to upgrade in the near future, definitely do check them out. Now let's focus on the new ViewSonic X10-4K smart projector, which is arguably one of the best smart projectors that's on the market today. The first thing I want to show you guys and walk you through about this is this actual form factor of this projector, because once I received this, the initial thing that I liked about it was the way it looked and how overall design was made of this. I don't think I've ever come across a projector that actually looks this nice and actually has a coolness factor to it. So if you guys can see up close, you have a very clear front panel where you can get a clear perspective of the actual lens that's being used. This is powered by an LED source, which means it's not using a traditional lamp-based technology. That also means that this guy is going to run up to 30,000 hours in its total life, which means if you powered this on for 8 hours a day, you'd actually let this last up to 10 years. That's not something you can really do with a traditional lamp-based one without actually changing the bulb. That also means that this guy is going to run a lot cooler and be a lot quieter because it doesn't generate as much heat. Also means that it's going to give you much more vivid and saturated colors. On the flip side, however, these do tend to go a little bit more expensive than your traditional lamp-based ones, and if anything does happen to the unit, you can't switch out the light source and you're going to actually eventually have to replace the entire projector. On the sides, they actually have their fan and their speakers built in. Now, talking about the speaker, this beefy boy comes with a Harman Kardon speaker built into it, and when I say that this has a nice beefy speaker in it, I'm not joking, guys. This produces much more sound than any other projector I have ever heard in this kind of setup. So there are other projectors that have sound bars and stuff built into them, but this one produces a much more rich, deep, and clarifying sound that's way more than enough to fill up an entire room. Even a studio the size of mine gets pretty well crisp audio details when you're watching movies on it or when you're playing any kind of games. Having that built-in speaker enables you to basically pick this up and take it anywhere you want, and you'll be able to use it without having to hook up extra speakers and carry around different things. So the overall goal here is to minimize the amount of effort you need to do when you're using it. Now, as I mentioned, this is a smart-based projector, and there's a ton of different features that this projector supports that other projectors just simply don't have. That's also why I say it's arguably one of the best projectors that you can buy today that's smart. Now, before I cover all the different smart features of this projector, I want to show you guys what you get inside the box when you receive this package. So inside the box, you'll be pleased to find a Wi-Fi dongle, some batteries, a remote, an HDMI cable, a USB-C type cable, power cable, and also a Roku stick if you happen to pick one of these projectors up before September 30th. So they are running a promotion to include a free Roku stick with this. That way you can enjoy some content without even having to lug around another separate device with this. Now, as you guys saw, there is a Wi-Fi dongle included, and that's because this is a smart projector, which means that after you plug in that Wi-Fi dongle into this at the back of the unit, you'll actually be able to connect to Wi-Fi networks that are either 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz networks, which means you'll have access to a different number of apps directly from the projector, and apps including Netflix. Now, one thing to know that even though this projector does support 4K resolution, the Netflix app that you get downloaded on the actual system itself only supports 480p, but that is a limitation from Netflix. That's not a limitation from the projector itself, which is also why that they're including, and as a promotion, the Roku stick, so you can demo out the different capabilities of this projector. Now, another neat feature of this device is the fact that it can automatically upgrade its own firmware. You can also do this by going into the settings manually and doing it either online or by USB. Good to know that ViewSonic is doing everything it needs to make sure that you have an optimal experience. So along with being able to put a Wi-Fi dongle inside this to enable Wi-Fi connectivity on this projector, you actually get access to a number of ports on the back. Now, looking at the back of the unit, there are plenty of options to go ahead and connect different devices to it. You'll be pleased to see that you have an option to hook up an audio in or audio out device. You can connect an optical wired device as well if you want to use a soundbar or another really high quality enabled sound device that you guys have. You have 2 HDMI ports. You've got 2 USB ports that are actually high powered. Now, the USB ports are high powered enough that you can put in a streaming stick such as a Chromecast, a Roku stick, or a Fire Stick, and run the power directly off of the unit like that, which helps reduce a lot of clutter and allowing you to not have to take up additional power ports when you are getting your home theater set up. Now, in addition to that, one of the other USB ports also supports 12-volt trigger screens, which means that once you mount this to a ceiling or anywhere and you want it to basically trigger a projector screen to come down or go up as you turn the projector on or off, it has the capability to do that as well. So you have a ton of different options in the back to connect different devices. It's more so than I see in a lot of other projectors. You could even go ahead and wire this in directly through Ethernet if you want to set up your connection like that and avoid Wi-Fi altogether. Now, the fact that this does have Wi-Fi in it really truly makes this thing portable, meaning you can just take this device anywhere you want in any room and be essentially just able to plop it up on a table or a projector stand and throw up a pretty decent resolution screen. You'll be pleased to know that this projector has 2400 lumens, which may not sound like a whole lot to you guys if you have other traditional lamp-based projectors which do come off with the higher lumens, but comparing lamp-based lumens to LED lumens isn't exactly a fair comparison. And the reason is pretty simple. LED light sources produce much more colorful and vivid colors in general, and it actually comes perceived to the human eye a lot more brighter than standard colors that are being produced off of a lamp-based projector. So if I was to compare this projector with another projector that's lamp-based and has the same amount of lumens, you would perceive this one to be much brighter just based on that. Now, there are a couple other features about this projector that I think are just completely insanely cool. One is the fact that this is actually classified as a short throw projector, which means you only need to be a distance of 6 feet from your source or your screen, and this will project up to a 100-inch screen, which means you don't have to have a huge room to get a huge viewing experience. You don't have to pull the projector further back. That also means that since the projector is going to be closer to the screen, it's going to maintain a level of clarity as well. Speaking of clarity, you'll be pleased to know that there isn't actually an autofocus or keystone focus dial on the top like you guys see on traditional projectors. And that's because the X10-4K comes equipped with an automatic focus and automatic keystone ability, which means this device is automatically going to adjust itself and its clarity based on the distance that it's set from the wall. And it actually works really, really well. Check out this footage of when I first powered on the device and I let it set up itself on the screen and how quickly it went ahead and focused everything into perfect resolution and even adjusted the keystone so I wouldn't have to do that. Now, if for some reason the focus doesn't quite hit the mark that you want, or you don't have the keystone set perfectly, you can use the included remote and press a single button right here that's going to let you go ahead and focus in on it, or you can go into the setting and use it manually. Now, speaking of remote, since I do have this pulled up in front of here, I want to show you guys that this is actually a very well engineered and designed remote. You don't see a lot of projector remotes that have this level of thought designed into it, and the reason I say that is very simple. To adjust the volume, you have a little rocker that goes up and down, and this is something you traditionally see on more expensive Samsung type TVs that come with smart remotes. It also has a wheel dial that you can use to navigate between different items or just doing basic menu navigation. Now, if for any reason the remote isn't super responsive enough, you can always connect the projector through your smartphone with the Remote app, or you can also use Alexa and Google Assistant to get your controls done that way. This is especially handy when you're going to be using some of the smart-based features of this projector. As I mentioned, it does have an operating system of its own and allows you to download certain apps. Also, you can pair this with Alexa or with Google Assistant just by using their V-Remote app. So while using the V-Remote app, not only do you get to control this by voice through your smart home network if you have one set up like that, you can also use that actual app to control the projector in itself. So essentially you have a smartphone remote app that is paired with your projector as well. So if all those features weren't cool enough, there's another really cool thing that you can do with this. As I told you guys, the speaker in this thing is more than ample enough to fill up a room. And as such, because it is designed by Harman Kardon, ViewSonic decided to take it another step further. You're actually able to connect to this projector with Bluetooth and basically use this as a Bluetooth speaker just for music or any kind of audio if you want to do that. So suppose you're outside and you don't want to have a screen play, but you want to have a portable speaker that you can use, and you just happen to have this with you, you can easily connect your smartphone or any device onto this and use that as a portable Bluetooth speaker. And like I said, the sound quality is great. Check out some of the sound quality on this projector using it in an outdoor setup with no external speakers attached to this.
Whoa!
Oh, it's more than enough.
Well, I got a guy in Des Moines, Iowa, who'll pay 40 grand for Shank's car from a game called Slaughter Race.
A racing game?
That's right. Slaughter Race is the most popular online racing game out there. However, It is wicked dangerous.
We ain't afraid of danger. This kid's...
So as you guys heard, that's some pretty crisp and loud sound coming from just a single projector with no external speakers connected to it. Now, you also probably noticed how crisp that image was coming outside, and that's because this is a 4K Ultra HD projector, which means it's displaying a full 8.3 million pixels. All of this stuff is great. There's also more stuff you can do with this projector. So it also supports SmartCast, which means that if you have a smartphone, be it an Android or an iOS device, you can wirelessly connect it to here and display whatever is on your mobile phone onto the projector. Setting it up takes only a few seconds and you're able to just cast right away to this. So if you want to watch movies or some content that's on your phone and throw it up on a big screen, the ViewSonic X10-4K definitely lets you take advantage of that feature. In addition to that, for whatever reason, if this remote doesn't seem to quite cut it for you, you can plug in a wireless keyboard mouse combo like a Logitech K400 and control the device from that. So I wasn't really kidding when I said this is arguably one of the most advanced or best smart projectors that's available on the market today that you guys can pick up. And if that wasn't enough, this thing is actually really attractive looking as well. ViewSonic clearly spent a lot of time in developing this and making sure that it is truly a beautiful, eye-catching device. And that's why it's also a winner of one of the design awards for 2019. That's evident just by looking at the craftsmanship of the build of this projector. From the leather covered handle and to the polished metal power button, this thing just screams quality all throughout. Even on the back side of the projector, there is a magnetic cover that protects dust from getting into the ports when you're not using it, which is especially handy when you're going to use this in protective mode. And it's kind of similar to how you used to have those old school iPads. This is a great feature if you're going to plan to use this a lot in a portable setting. What makes it even easier is the way that the handle just flips up, so you can go ahead and literally pick it up and carry it like that. Now on the bottom side, you will be pleased to see that they've given you guys a spot to actually mount this projector. So again, even though that they kept the fact that this is more of a portable type projector in mind, it still doesn't mean that you can't mount this on a ceiling based thing or pop it up on a table. It works pretty simple like that. So in addition to the mounting hardware on the bottom of the projector, there's also a kickstand that has 2 adjustable settings for different height based on your environment. You'll be able to use it in any setting you want to get the ideal picture that you're looking for. Now let's talk about the overall performance of this projector. In my testing, there was no audible noise of the fan that was coming louder than the actual speaker inside or setup of the environment. Even if you were just using this without a screen at all and you wanted to take advantage of the Bluetooth function, I could barely hear any of the noise that the fan was producing. And this is all thanks to the fact that it's using an LED bulb and they're using high quality fans inside too. Not all LED projectors are necessarily quiet, but specifically with this one, ViewSonic has done a spectacular job in making sure that this stays quiet so it's not disrupting the overall ambience when you're outside or when you're indoors. Now the picture quality of the X10-4K smart projector is simply stunning. You're going to see breathtaking visuals that basically just show you how crisp 4K can really be. And honestly, in some of my testing, it was really hard to even believe that this is resolution coming out of a projector. I've yet to see a projector that is as sharp and as crisp that's available to the masses of people at a more affordable price. Now, as I mentioned, this is a 4K projector, which means it's going to give you those super crisp detail and that super crisp resolution. This also means that you can pair this up with your PS4 Pro or your Xbox One X and get some really stellar gaming performance and gaming experiences. Being able to play Call of Duty on a large projector screen of more than 120 inches was a phenomenal experience on the ViewSonic. Now, because at the end of the day this is a projector, I wouldn't recommend this to be used for a competitive gaming type setup, but it should get the job done for most other gamers out there. Now, watching movies on this projector was simply a delight. It was very easy to set up and the picture quality on this thing was astounding. 4K material actually showed up in 4K and it was displayed super crisp and super clear. The other thing that you could take advantage of in this projector is if you really want to watch a 3D movie, this projector will actually display movies in 3D as well. That's not a very typical feature that you see. So as you guys can probably tell, ViewSonic went all out with this projector and pretty much gave it any type of feature that they could think of to make sure that it works. If any of this stuff seems like it's still a little bit short, there's one more feature that's really cool about this projector. There's actually a little camera on the front of the projector that is basically used to detect if someone is going to go in front of it. So suppose the screen is on and there's light flashing out of this projector. If you walk across it to protect your eyes, it'll detect that someone is moving across of it and it'll turn itself off. Now this is a totally optional feature and is disabled by default, but if you want to go ahead and turn it on, you can always head over to the settings and make sure you do so. This is just another feature that shows you how committed ViewSonic is to really delivering a stellar product for folks. So if you guys want to take advantage of this awesome projector, you guys can go ahead and check out their Amazon page. I have a link in the description for you guys. I urge you to go ahead and take advantage of this while it still has the promotion of including a Roku TV stick with this for free. This is by far one of the best smart projectors that you guys can get. And to be completely transparent and completely honest, I'm not saying this, guys, just because this video is sponsored by ViewSonic or the fact that they sent in a unit to me to review. I've reviewed a number of different projectors in the past, from budget to other ViewSonic ones as well, and some more pricey ones. But for the price and for the amount of features that you get with this projector, it's really hard for me to not say that this is worth purchasing. So if you really are serious about getting a projector that meets all of your home theater needs, or if you want one to just have on the go if you go somewhere and you're traveling, or you want to set up that backyard dream home theater environment that you always wanted to have but you never really wanted to dish out a huge expensive setup kind of money, this is perfect for that, and I would strongly urge you guys to take advantage of this while it's available now. You can go ahead again to their Amazon link. I have it in the description below where you guys can check it out and go ahead and pick one up for yourself. But that pretty much concludes this video. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. If you guys like this content, give it a thumbs up, and if you guys have any feedback to share about this projector, let me know in the comments as well. Of course, if you're new to this channel, do consider subscribing because it definitely helps the channel grow and helps me make more awesome content like this. Let me know what you guys think overall of this projector, and if you would certainly pick one up today or maybe have plans to upgrade to one later in the future. Until then, guys, I will see you in my next video. Take care.